Hello, class. Hello, class. Hello, class. How are you doing? It is Professor Peterson. And the purpose of this video is to walk through project one with you. So if some of you have turned it in already, some of you did not, and some of you are, I expect everybody actually to be putting in the second draft of the project. So everybody should be putting in their second draft. And if you didn't get it in the first time, get it in. So I'm going to walk through this step by step. What I'm going to show you here is kind of what I expect. As far as the content, right? You need to go back to the video on lecture 2 to see really what I'm looking for as far as your headline, lead line, byline, caption, those few things that are required in your article. But other than that, let's jump right into it. This is for Photoshop tutoring for project 1. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay. And we are going to go right into it. All right, so we are going to go from scratch. You get into Photoshop. All right. It's loading. Now, as we get into it, okay, we'll start with a create new. Okay. Like I told you guys before, with this project, you can do the standard letter size, 8.5 by 11. That's your standard paper size. Okay. You can start that. You can start the project there. So we get into it, all right? So again, in Photoshop, remember Photoshop is really based on layers, okay? So if you look at this, make this full screen. Your layers are right here on your bottom right, okay? And that's what we're operating from. Me, I like to usually unlock this layer so I can make it adjustable. And this is always kind of my base. But what we're gonna do is go ahead and add a layer. One thing to remember is that anytime you add content, add a new layer for it. When you do text, it actually comes up itself, right? But if you add a layer, you're avoiding mixing, putting up two objects on one layer, and it can get confusing as well. So we're gonna do layer 1. Let's make this body. We're going to call this one body here. So this is the text, right? So let's start with the copy. And again, your text tool will be over here on the left. Okay. Click that. We come over to the screen. Let's say we just, make it about this much. And then see, I'm going to start typing. Okay, yeah, so we still got the lorem ipsum in there. And so I started typing, if you notice, it's still coming up, yeah, you can see. All right, so we're gonna type. All right, I'm gonna put some space, type some more. Okay. All right, so what we're going to do, first of all, we're going to change the font for, the font size, okay? So move this down a little bit so you guys can see. So right here, you got your tools for your text, okay? So let's go ahead and move this up to about 18, all right? And this is just for it to be legible for you guys so guys can see. So we moved it up to 30, okay? Now, as you see, all the text is over each other. And I didn't go over this in class, but you have your character styles over here, paragraph style, paragraph, all right, character style. So we want to click that character style button right there. And this is going to give us more options for the text or the characters. Now, if you don't see this, when you click this box and you don't see that, just go to your window and click character, okay? So if you don't see this, just go to your window and click character, okay? And that option, now you will see this option. So if you put text in there and the text is overriding each other, or you move up the size and it's override each other, you need to go to your text box, highlight the text, and go over here to leading. Okay, so you click this, you can drag it up and down, and you see that leading brings space between your content, right? So let's do our leading like that. And then actually, I'm going to lower the font size again, okay? And you see that it's a little bit better. Let's also maybe make it like writing right now. You see it's centered. We're gonna make it left aligned, okay? So we're gonna leave that like that. And if you notice, if I click the edges, just again, you know, this is where you can play with the size, right? So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna leave this like the main thing here for now, okay? And I'm gonna go over here and click my arrow tool, okay? So now I can move this, all right? So this is the move tool. This is your basically your safe haven, okay? You always want to be using this, and this gives you the option. I can pick this up, drag this everywhere I want. I'm going to put Command Z to undo that. So to undo anything you do, if I move this, Command Z on the Mac, or I think it's Control Z or Option Z on the PC to move your material back. And again, a lot of the stuff you see, like if I go to undo, right? You see it tells you right here, Command Z, redo, Shift, Command Z. So all the shortcuts are really up there, you know. And then if, again, like I said, YouTube is your best friend on this, okay? Anything you don't know how to do, there's still a lot of things that I don't know how to do in Photoshop, but I just YouTube it, all right? So we got our body. You can get creative here. Again, if you want to change the color, double click in the T, okay? Remember that, double click in the T. And I can go to my color scale here, or I can go to my color scale here, right? But if we go here, if I wanted to flip it out, it's already black. If I wanted to make it white, okay, I could just switch to 4 color here. You see switch foreground and background colors by just clicking that, okay? But if I'm gonna keep it black, but let's say I wanted to change the color. Let's say I will go red, right? If I go red, boom, okay, if I want to do that. So Command Z, undo that. So right now we're gonna leave it black just so, you know, just so we can get through this. Now I wanna add an image. Every project should have an image, okay? So we go to File, Place Embedded. All right, so this is somebody else's photo I was working on. She has a business and I was working on her business, but organize your folders. You're gonna get to the point now where, you know, you guys will be having a lot of projects and you wanna make sure your files are put where they need to be. So you're gonna have to locate the pictures that you're having for this one. I have, yeah, so let me see, what did I have here? Let's see you guys work. Look, now you see, this is why, okay, magazine design test. This is why it's important to have it organized, because, all right, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna use this picture. All right, so you got your picture that you're dropping, place it, it loads up. Now, I can adjust the size of this picture. I can move this picture right now, but I want to make it smaller, right? So I'm gonna hold Option, click the edges, and when me holding an Option, it allows me to move it and the picture stays equally, the size equal all the way down no matter how I move it. So that's why I hold Option and then move it like that. So I'm gonna make this a little side picture, okay? Like maybe like a caption pic, okay? I'm gonna press Enter. All right, and I'm still on the move tool, so I can drag this wherever I want it. So maybe I put it like, you know, here, okay, bottom. And, you know, with alignment, maybe because I want it to look like an article, maybe I align it with the text. And what I'm gonna do as far as alignment, matter of fact, I'm gonna make real quickly, and this is just for aesthetics, all right? So I wanna make, right now, what I'm trying to do is make the text bigger because I wanna make this picture, it line up with the picture, right? We talk about alignment, right? So I am going to, I am on the body layer. If you see me over here on the bottom right, okay? I'm on the body layer. What I'm gonna do now is push Command T, okay? And that gives me the option to resize the font. All right, so what I'm gonna do is just make this a little bigger, maybe even, okay? And then press enter. All right, and then I'm gonna pull that down just a little bit. All right, and what I'm gonna do the same thing for the picture, Command T, Option, and bring it down just a little bit more. Press enter, okay. All right, so every picture requires a caption, okay, guys? Every picture requires a caption. We gotta know what's going on with that picture. So let's make another text box, text, okay? The caption is usually small. Let's just say something like honey bee eating, you know, let's say, and make a comment, North Carolina, you know, something like that. Now we can press enter, okay, or press the arrow. Now that's there. We can move this where we want. Now that doesn't look good, right? But what do we normally see in articles? It's smaller. So let's double click it. All right, I went over here, double clicked it so it's highlighted. Let's drop the font down to maybe, you know, 14 or even 12, okay, even more smaller. Now, if we want to, we could do something, press enter, okay, and we could just drag it here, right, real simple, okay? Or we could get creative. I can push Command T again to transform it, okay? And again, I think it's Option T or Control T on the Mac. And I wanna put this on the side if I wanna get fancy, right? Press enter, right? And then I can just drag it over. Oh, sorry. So some of you may be wondering what the heck just happened. What happened here is that I'm on the bottom layer, okay? And I click the move tool and I tried to move. And so whatever layer I'm on is gonna move. All right, so let me undo that. Make sure I am on the honeybee layer, okay? And drag over, yeah, boom. So now that's how you do like a side caption. Let's get that a little bit more level and move it over, use the arrow. Or the other option you could do is we can make it normal again, right, or horizontal, okay? We could put it on the picture, like so. Bring it down, okay, it's right there on the picture. And some of you, and if you can use the arrow keys once you want to like get some detail. That's what I'm doing now, using the arrow key. Now, remember, we can change the color of this bad boy. So let's highlight it again, and let's just change it to white, all right? Boom, now it's legible on there, okay? And you can see it, right? But all right, I'm gonna do Command plus sign now to kind of zoom in. You can see it, but it's not that legible, and it's not going to be that legible, you know, from the normal distance anyway, right? But just to show you guys this tool, we showed it before, but on any layer, okay, if you click the extra area right here, this extra gray area, double click it, you get more options, okay? You get the layer style tool, okay? So what we want to do again, and think about this with a lot of your font, a lot of the font that's on the picture, and we can't really read it, okay? Just add a drop shadow, okay? You see, I add a drop shadow there. So if I want to, same thing, double click on the drop shadow, you get more options. So I can lower the distance, okay? I hope you guys see that. As I move this on the right, you see the distance change right here on the B, okay? So I can move the distance closer, all right? Opacity is how clear, all right, the color is, or how clear is it. So if I move the opacity down, you don't see it, you can see right through it. If I move the opacity up, it's darker, okay? So we're gonna move it up so you can really see it, all right? Again, you can change the color, you can change the size, okay? So many things that you can do to make your font and your text more legible on pictures, okay? So we're just gonna go with that just so you can see that, okay? All right, so now we got a picture and we have a caption, okay? Two of the things that we really needed to I expect it in the project, okay? Now let's, we don't have a headline, okay? So let's add another headline, all right? So again, another text box. Let's make text box, okay? Honey bee life, all right. I don't see anything, Professor Peterson. Well, that's because the color is still white, all right? So again, you could double click this, okay? And we can go to black. All right, let's do that. Okay, and see, because now we can see, we saw that I spelled honey wrong. All right, let's make this big because this is the hairline, remember? And remember the headline by its hierarchy, right? The bigger it is, right? That grabs attention grabber. We want people to see, okay? So we'll do that. Let's center it. Oh, move that option. Okay, let's center this. Okay, all right. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna move everything down a little bit. So I have to go to the layers, right? The layers that I want to move. Let's go to body, right? And I'm just gonna use the arrow to pull it down some. Okay. The picture, what I'm gonna do is click the picture, and I'm also gonna click the caption. I'm gonna hold shift, click the caption. So now both layers are highlighted together, so I can move them together. Oh, so hold shift. All right, both layers are highlighted together, so now I can move them together. Okay. So let me move this down about there. All right. All right, make sure that's a little line. All right, so we want to get a little creative with the honeybee font. We're gonna double click on the honeybee life layer, which is our headline. Okay. I'm gonna move this down a little bit about right there. Again, alignment. So now it's starting to look like an article a little bit, right? Just a little bit. Okay. Let's add, I'm gonna click that, and you can highlight the font. Let's just go down what looks good. Okay, we can pick one. And again, we want, as far as feel, okay, we want the font to kind of relate to, the content that you're putting together. All right, so we'll just use that for now. I don't want to go through this, too much. And maybe let's get a little creative, right? So honey is really what? Honey bees, and you think about bees, it's like you always think about yellow, orange. You think about Cheerios, right? The Cheerio bee. You always see like yellow, orange. So let's kind of maybe in browns, right? So let's kind of mimic that color scheme real quick. Let's go down here. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna duplicate this layer. Okay, so if I click on layer 0, which was our background layer, I'm gonna right click, okay, duplicate layer. Okay, we're gonna say, let's say yellow background. Okay. All right. I'm gonna make sure that layer is above the bottom layer, and I am going to click this box tool right here, or rectangle tool to the left. All right. What I'm gonna do over here is go ahead and make sure our color is maybe like where we want it. All right. So let's go to like a yellowish color. All right. Now I have, remember, I'm on the black tool now. Okay. So maybe I'll do that just over our space, and boom, now we have, a yellow background. Okay. So let's say that, that yellow looks slightly off, right? That yellow looks slightly off from our beautiful honeybee right here. Okay. And remember, for me to zoom in, I'm pressing Command plus sign, Command minus sign, Command plus sign, and you can zoom in real quick. So the color's a little off, right? So let's do this. What we can do is double click on our color wheel. All right, it asks us what color. Now, if you pull away, you see how my mouse has turned into like a little drop. All we gotta do is click on the drop, right? And what the color does is kind of mimic the color that you click on. So let's try that. That looks like the honeybee right there. And let's see how our background changes. Matter of fact, I don't think that changed. So this is what we'll do. I'll delete the rectangle, okay? And I'm gonna make a new rectangle, all right? And I'm still on, I want you guys to see, I'm still on a yellow background, right? So if I make it, boom, okay? Let's see, we want to change the color. So, boom, all right. And so the color is gonna be whatever color I have here, okay? That's what the color is gonna be when I make this box. So delete that. If I do another rectangle, all right, we want the color to be, look at the B, some part of the B, say more so the yellow part, as much yellow as we can. Let's get as much as yellow as we can, okay. All right, rectangle again, and bring another one. Boom, all right. So now you notice that, all right, that looks more visually aesthetic because it's the same color as the B. And we know it's the same color as the B because we literally used the drop to do it, okay? So now let's maybe add a little stroke, all right, to get a little fancy with your font. If we wanted to add a little stroke to this, remember if you click this white space, this gray area here, double click, it gives you more options. And so if we add a little stroke here, okay, a stroke is just an outside line, all right? But because this one's so big that it looks like it changed the whole word. So it looked like it covered the whole word. See that? But that's because the stroke size is too big right now. So we click that. Let's double click extra so we get more options. And you see the size here. So look, we can change the size a little bit. All right. Okay. And let's give that stroke. And maybe, you know, maybe we try to make the color. And again, we're just playing around. Let's do the drop tool again. You see, I click color, gives me the options, but I want to use this purple from the flower, okay? And okay. So now you see there's a little purple on the outside of that honey, okay? So I'm gonna click okay. Now, you know what, I'm gonna resize this. I wanna make it a little bigger so you guys can see it. Let's go 60, okay? And just for an artistic, you know, maybe a little, I'm gonna make another rectangle over here, okay? So what I did, so if you guys can see, I'm over here at the colors. See, I do that, double click the color. I want this purple again, okay? That like the purple that honeybee's going for, click okay. We do another square. And this is just, maybe I'll put this square on the side. Okay, and I just kind of want to show you guys create little things you can do creatively off of just using like, you know, shapes, squares. So so right now that little area, right, that I just did is over the text, right? Well, we know Photoshop works off layers. So all we have to do is just drop that rectangle layer down, okay, all the way to the bottom, right above, boom. All right, so now we got a little color pattern, right? You see what we did there, okay? Switch it up a little bit, and what we could do, all right, just going off this. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna shift everything over a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna shift everything over a little bit. And I'm gonna make our text, all right, I'm gonna shift our text over a little bit. And what I'm gonna do is Command T, I'm gonna downsize the text a little, okay? So it can fit in there, all right? All right, press enter. Remember the resize is Command T, okay? All right, what I'm gonna do, I'm also gonna click on the honeybee, okay? So now, before I've been working on this, so I know how to do this, but if you need to organize your layers a little bit, right? So I know that's the body, okay? Rectangle 2, okay? I could just say purple rectangle, purple space, right? Or purple block, okay? Or I could say purple background, right? Here, if you double click on the word, okay? I could say, you know, yellow background. All right, so remember this was our yellow background, all right, but I don't need it no more. Click the layer, delete. Okay, now it's gone. All right, so now we kind of clean up a little bit. So I even need to change this name. So it says honey picture, honey 2. Let's just make it bee pick. All right. All right, so honeybee eating. So again, we know the honeybee eating and the bee pick go together. I hold shift to move them together. And right now I hold shift and I'm gonna do Command T. So now I can resize them together. Okay, I can even resize them. So here I do that. You see how it's unproportional. Command undo. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold Option. So if I make this thing bigger, it grows equally on all sides. And boom. Okay, so now our picture, let's align our picture a little bit. All right, boom. All right, now that's there. All right, this looks like an article or something. All right, so again, maybe we added, let's add another section real quick, you know, because I kind of like where it's going. Let's go white for our color. Do a text box right here, something real quick. You know, I'm gonna put maybe 10 things about bees, right? 10 bees, okay? We're gonna do that, highlight it. Let's make it a little bigger. Okay, it's big. I need it for 10 things about. I don't see all that. I changed it to 24. All you gotta do is just drag that down, okay? And you'll be able to see it better. All right, if I want to, because this is a heading, this is hierarchy, so I do want to make it kind of bold, but it's not like the big thing, okay? So maybe even 30. You know what? Maybe even 48. All right, let's see if I pull it down a little bit. How does that look? Oh, that's a little too big, so we'll go back down. We'll go back down. All right, we want things to be able to see right. So, boom. If I want to underline anything, I could do all that here. Like say I want to underline, okay? Again, kerning, okay? So that's where you control your space in between the lines, okay? Here, so I'm sorry, letting here. And then vertical scale here, okay? Vertical scale. Tracking the characters. Okay, this is the space between them, between the each letter, okay? All right, so say we do that. I like that. We'll go to the layer. Let's go back to the layer, put a drop shadow. Even though that's white on purple, it looks good. Let's add a little drop shadow so it's easier to read that white. Boom, look at that. Plus sign, no plus sign. Plus sign, no plus sign. So let's add that. And I wouldn't even make that opacity so dark. We can light it up. We can lighten that up just a little bit. And maybe even, I double click, maybe even pull back on the distance just a little bit. So it's not too obvious. Okay. All right. 10 things about bees. Okay. Let's just put some mess down here, something. All right, another text box, and I can make this a long box, one box all together. We can say 1. 2, 3, 4. I probably need to change that to 5 things about these. So if I do want to change that, let me go up to, all right, that layer. Okay, double click it. Now I can just go up here, click. Right. Oh, 5 things about it. Boom, 5 things about bees, right? And if I wanted to add to that, I can. Again, you see, it looks a little different. So what I need to go to my layer, see it names it itself, double click it, click drop shadow again, boom, you're good. Now this is all uniform except for my period there. Let me go back out. I'm gonna edit that, double click on it. Now it makes it active. I can delete the period if I want to. All right, and still, because this is good. Look, minor details, right? Minor details. But okay, boom. Now that looks uniform. Okay. Let me go to the title. Click the title. I'm gonna double click the title. Maybe right now it's regular. I kind of want this to be, so this font only has regular. I kind of want this to be bold. I wonder if this can go bold. Um, oh, I'm on the wrong layer. So boom, I'm on the wrong layer. Let me go to the Honeybee Life. Double click. See if does this go bold? It says book style, bold. Ah, okay, bold. I like that. All right, so a little bit bold because it's hierarchy. Um, so we got our headline here. Check. Body. Check. Okay. Picture. Check. Caption for the picture. Check. Um, Visually aesthetic. Right. We added different multiple colors. Okay. Multiple fonts we went over. What are we missing? Ah, the byline. Okay. Who's this article by? Again, just another text box, okay? Just another text box. All right, let's make sure our font. Right now, anything I type, you're not gonna be able to see it because the font is too big. So we'll just go down to 14 and we'll say by okay. Okay, by okay now by Professor Peterson. Okay, and maybe make this a second hierarchy somewhat. So it doesn't have to be huge, but boom, that's perfect. All right. And you can even get creative with that. You know, it doesn't have to be centered. You can put it like right there. All right. This is where you can get creative. So all the content is here. After that, you can get creative as much as you want. Um, you know, this right here, this will be fine, right? Of course, you would have to add another box here to give me the details. But this will be good, you know, everything that's basically required in the project is there. You gotta look creative with the design. And again, this was very simple. All I did here was just use the rectangle tool, okay, and the text tool, okay, and we adjusted the colors a little bit. All right, we didn't do anything that was too crazy. Or anything like that. But if I wanted to do some things, I'll just show you some extra tips real quick. So let's say the edges on this picture right here is pretty harsh, right? So there's a couple things we could do. We could, if I clicked on this layer and this little B pick, I clicked on this layer, I could double click it like the other ones, and we bring up other options, and I could do a stroke just like we do for text, right? You can do stroke on pictures as well. So I would do a stroke, let you guys see. Put a stroke on there. Right now it's the purple stroke, but I'm sorry, double click, yeah. So let's make the size on that a little bigger so you guys can see. All right, so boom, like if we added a stroke, you see what it does to the picture right there. All right. And I kind of like that because of, you know, the purple on the flower makes it stand out more. Um, we can do that. All right, so let's kind of zoom out again if we wanted to. Looking at it now, I don't like it. And then, or you can use a smudge tool, and it all depends on how you're doing your pick. So clicking on the smudge tool, you see the smart object must be rasterized before processing. Rasterize object, yes. Okay, when you rasterize an object, that means you can manipulate it, you can smudge it, you can delete it, whatever, delete parts of it. So, okay, and now I can smudge. So if I wanted to smudge the outside of this, like you can, basically what the smudge is like, it's supposed to work as like your finger, okay? And so if I wanted to smudge the outside of this, or, you know, this is really good for blending two pictures, or say you used, maybe I use this picture as my whole background. So this is what I'll do. I'll show you right now. All right, so let's resize this picture, Command T. All right, and I'm gonna make this a lot bigger. All right, make this picture a lot bigger. Yeah, maybe we want it like that. All right, so we'll do it like that. Now we got a whole new image. What I want to do now is I'm kind of gonna erase that. All right, so erase it. But I want this to kind of blend now, right? I'm gonna have to blend this into the bottom. Okay. We got more article, okay. We got more article here. So this is the erase tool. And again, right now we're just literally playing with this now. Just to show you guys a couple things that you can do if you wanted to use a bigger picture. You could. Okay. I'm gonna try to keep this. Keep this as tight as possible. All right. We can fine tune that later, but all right, smudge tool. So smudge tool is really kind of, or if I hold down, right, I could do blur, right? If I want to do blur tool, go up here, make it a little bigger, okay? And now I'm blurring the edges. All right, blurring the edges a little bit. Blur the edges a little bit, and I can smooth out this bottom. You may not can see exactly how I see. But now look, we got, we kind of got a different look, whole different feel instead of that little box. If I wanted to, let's see, we could double click it, okay? We can double click the picture and change the opacity. Let me see. There's the opacity option up here. Oh, okay, here. So clicked on the layer. You see right here, opacity. Remember we talked about opacity. If I want to lighten it up, okay, I could. Okay, lighten it up where it's kind of in the background. Okay. I honestly, let me see, I don't like those edges. They're kind of tight. So what I would do is I would probably resize this. So let me take this whole image out, place embedded. Yep, I'm gonna bring the Honeybee 2 back in there. Boom. There it is. All right, see, let's maybe even make it big, right? Press enter. Now, if we change the opacity, it could almost be a background image. All right. It's a background image. Let's say Command T. Let's even make it even bigger. All right. Oh, look at that. In fact, let's see. Let's move it again. Let's move it over a little bit. Boom. Well, look at that. Look what we came up with, class. Would you look at that? Just like that. All right, just playing around with it, changing the opacity. So now, on this layer, we could drop it down even a little more. A little more. Boom. It's done. Boom. Now you know it's there. Okay. I kind of like that. All right. Still include your caption. So guys, get creative, get creative. Again, this is basics. If your article or your magazine design looks just like this, okay, or close to it, you're fine. That lets me know that you sat down, watched the video, gave it an effort. I would like for you to get creative. There's so many more things that you can do on here. Again, YouTube is your best friend for this, okay? YouTube is your best friend for this, all right? So if you have any more questions, please shoot me an email. But I wanted to make this video so that you guys can really see the basics. I think every time we got into doing the minimum for this project, walking through it, we always got cut off. The class section may have ended. So that was a slow walkthrough, and you guys can go back and start that video over as much as you need to. And if you need extra help, please email me, rkpeters, rkpeters at ncat.edu, and I will help you or meet with you. We can schedule a meeting. I had a one-on-one meeting with a student today, so we can easily schedule a meeting. I would love to see your project. We can share it. You can ask me for any questions before you turn it in. So that's all for this video. I also will be adding links to other videos that I feel will help you with the project. All right. Other than that, have a great day and be great.